There are seasons in life that feel heavy, seasons where the doors don't open, the prayers seem delayed, and the path ahead looks unclear. In those moments, it's easy to believe that something has gone wrong. But what if the season you are in right now is not punishment? What if it is preparation? What if the struggle you're facing is the very thing that always comes before God's biggest blessings? Many people want the blessing, but few understand the process that comes before it. Before the breakthrough comes the battle. Before the victory comes the test. Before the harvest comes the planting season. The problem is that planting seasons look nothing like harvest seasons. When you plant a seed, you bury it in darkness. You place it under pressure. You cover it with dirt, and for a long time, it looks like nothing is happening. But something is happening underneath the surface where nobody can see. That seed is transforming. It is breaking open. It is stretching roots into the ground so it can hold the weight of what it is about to become. And many of us are in that kind of season right now. It feels like you've been buried. It feels like life has placed pressure on every side. But what you call burial, heaven calls planting. There are moments in life when everything feels heavier than it should. You wake up carrying questions you cannot answer and burdens you cannot easily explain. The road feels longer than you expected. The door seems slower to open, and sometimes it feels like every step forward is met with resistance. In those moments, it is easy to believe that something is wrong with your path. It is easy to assume that the struggle means you are moving in the wrong direction. But many times the opposite is true. The seasons that feel the hardest are often the seasons that are shaping you the most. Struggle has a strange way of preparing us for what we once prayed for. The pressure you feel is not always meant to stop you. Sometimes it is meant to strengthen you. What feels like resistance is often preparation in disguise. Many people desire great blessings, but very few want to go through the seasons that make those blessings possible. We celebrate success, but we rarely talk about the process that produces it. The process is rarely glamorous. It is made up of patience, persistence, disappointment, and quiet determination. Preparation seasons are often lonely because the work is happening on the inside. During these times, it may feel like your progress is invisible. You might look around and think others are moving ahead while you are standing still. But preparation seasons are not about speed. They are about development. They are about building the strength, the wisdom, and the character that will allow you to sustain what is coming. When life slows you down, it is not always because you are being held back. Sometimes you are being built up. Just like a strong foundation must be laid before a tall building can rise, strong character must be formed before great responsibility can be carried. If the foundation is weak, the structure will collapse under its own weight. In the same way, blessings that arrive before preparation can overwhelm a person who is not ready to handle them. That is why the preparation season matters so much. It is not wasted time. It is shaping time. Often the preparation process feels uncomfortable. Growth always does. Muscles grow when they are stretched. Minds grow when they are challenged. Faith grows when it is tested. These uncomfortable seasons push us beyond our comfort zones and force us to discover strength we did not know we had. What once felt impossible slowly becomes manageable. What once seemed overwhelming becomes something we learn to navigate. And in that process, we begin to realize that we are stronger than we thought. Another truth about difficult seasons is that they often feel like darkness. There are moments when you cannot see the outcome. You cannot see the next step clearly, and the path ahead seems hidden. But darkness does not always mean defeat. Sometimes darkness is simply the place where transformation begins. Think about a seed planted in the soil. Before it grows into something visible, it must first be placed underground. It is covered with dirt, surrounded by darkness, and pressed beneath the weight of the soil. From the outside, it might look like that seed has been buried and forgotten. But the truth is that the seed has not been buried, it has been planted. That darkness is not destroying the seed. It is protecting the process that is about to unfold. Beneath the surface, where no one can see, the seed begins to break open. Its roots stretch downward while its growth begins pushing upward. Even though nothing is visible above the ground, something powerful is happening beneath it. The transformation is quiet, but it is real. Life often works in the same way. There are seasons when you feel hidden, overlooked, or even forgotten. You may feel like your efforts are unseen and your progress is unnoticed, but hidden seasons are often growing seasons. They are the moments when your roots are stretching deeper. They are the moments when your faith is strengthening and your resilience is forming. The truth is that many of the greatest transformations happen in places where nobody is watching, when there is no applause, no recognition, and no immediate reward. The real work begins. These quiet seasons build discipline. They develop patience. They teach you how to keep moving forward even when motivation is low and encouragement is scarce. It is easy to stay committed when the results are immediate. It is easy to stay focused when success is visible. But true growth often requires continuing the journey when the outcome is still unseen. That kind of persistence builds something powerful inside a person. It creates endurance. Pressure also plays a major role in shaping who we become. Pressure has a way of revealing strengths that comfort never could. Think about the natural world. Diamonds are formed deep beneath the earth under extreme pressure. Gold becomes pure when it is exposed to intense heat. The process may look harsh, but the result is something valuable and refined. The same principle applies to life. Pressure can feel overwhelming in the moment, but it often produces the strength required for greater responsibility. Challenges stretch our abilities and force us to adapt. They teach us lessons that comfort never would have taught. Without those lessons, we might not be prepared for the opportunities that lie ahead. When life becomes difficult, it is tempting to ask why the struggle is happening. It is natural to question the purpose behind the pain. But sometimes the better question is what the struggle is producing. Every challenge carries a lesson within it. Every obstacle holds an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Endurance is not developed during easy seasons. It is developed when you keep going despite fatigue, disappointment, and uncertainty. It is developed when you choose persistence over surrender. That kind of endurance builds a foundation that cannot easily be shaken. Faith also plays an important role during these seasons. Faith is not simply believing when everything is going well. Faith is believing when the outcome is still uncertain. It is trusting that there is purpose in the process, even when the process feels confusing. There will be moments when the path ahead is not clear, moments when you cannot see how the pieces will come together. But faith allows you to keep walking even when you cannot see the full picture. It allows you to trust that the story is still unfolding. Sometimes the greatest growth happens when you learn to trust the journey rather than control every step of it. Life rarely unfolds exactly the way we expect. Plans change, timelines shift, doors close unexpectedly. But these changes do not always mean that the destination has changed. Sometimes they simply mean that the path is being adjusted. It is also important to remember that the hardest seasons often appear right before significant breakthroughs. Many people give up just before their situation begins to change. The pressure becomes intense, the frustration grows, and it feels like progress has stopped completely. But sometimes that pressure is a sign that something is about to shift. Think of a seed again pushing its way through the soil. The moment just before it breaks through the surface is probably the moment of greatest resistance. The soil above it feels heavy, and the path upward requires all the strength the seed has developed beneath the ground. But if it keeps pushing, eventually it breaks through and reaches the light. Life often mirrors that moment. Breakthroughs frequently come after periods of intense pressure. The struggle builds momentum for the transformation that is about to take place. What once seemed impossible suddenly becomes achievable because the preparation has already happened. There are countless stories of people who nearly gave up before their lives changed. They were tired, discouraged, and uncertain about continuing, but the moment they chose to persevere became the turning point in their journey. Persistence carried them across the line where their breakthrough was waiting. Waiting seasons are also part of this journey. Waiting is one of the most difficult experiences because it challenges our patience. We live in a world that encourages speed and immediate results, but meaningful growth rarely follows that timeline. Waiting seasons teach us lessons that rushing never could. They teach patience, humility, and trust. They give us time to develop the maturity required to handle what is coming. Without that maturity, blessings can quickly become burdens. The waiting season is not empty time. It is shaping time. It is when perspectives change and priorities become clearer. It is when you learn what truly matters and what can be released. Sometimes the waiting season also reveals the strength of your commitment. When the reward is delayed, your motivation must come from something deeper than immediate results. It must come from purpose, belief, and determination. During these moments, it becomes important to remember that every great blessing carries the imprint of a difficult season. Success stories are often built on years of quiet effort that few people ever see. The visible achievement is only the final chapter of a much longer journey. When you understand this truth, it becomes easier to endure the process. Instead of seeing the struggle as meaningless pain, you begin to see it as preparation. Instead of interpreting delays as rejection, you begin to recognize them as redirection. The path may not always make sense in the moment, but many people eventually look back on their most difficult seasons and realize those seasons were shaping them for something greater. The obstacles taught them resilience. The disappointments taught them humility. The waiting taught them patience. Those lessons became the foundation for the blessings that followed. So if you find yourself in a season that feels heavy or uncertain, do not assume that the story is ending. It may simply be the chapter where the most important transformation is taking place. Growth is rarely comfortable, but it is always meaningful. The struggle you face today may be developing the strength you will need tomorrow. The darkness you walk through today may be protecting a process that is quietly preparing you for the light ahead. The pressure you feel today may be refining the character that will carry your future success. Every season has a purpose. Some seasons teach, some seasons stretch, some seasons strengthen, and some seasons reveal the blessings that were being prepared all along. When the breakthrough finally comes, you will understand why the process mattered so much. You will see how each step, each challenge, and each moment of perseverance helped shape the person you became. And you will realize that the difficult season you once questioned was actually the season that prepared you for the greatest blessings of your life. In the end, every season in life carries meaning, even the ones that feel the most difficult. The struggles, the waiting, the pressure, and the quiet moments when nothing seems to change are not signs that your journey has failed. They are signs that something deeper is taking place within you. Growth is happening beneath the surface, shaping your character, strengthening your faith, and preparing you for what lies ahead. What feels like delay is often development. What feels like darkness is often the place where new life begins. The challenges you face are not meant to stop your story. They are meant to prepare you for the next chapter. Every test builds endurance. Every obstacle strengthens determination. And every moment of patience lays another brick in the foundation of the blessing that is coming. So when the road feels long and the season feels heavy, remember that preparation always comes before promotion, and planting always comes before harvest. The process may be uncomfortable, but it is never meaningless. If you keep moving forward with faith, courage, and perseverance, the season you are in today will one day make sense. And when that breakthrough finally comes, you will look back and realize the difficult season you once questioned was actually the very thing that prepared you to receive God's biggest blessings.